find easily on YouTube. You were speaking, I don't know, it was in Texas or where it was, but the audience was pretty placid, and there was just one hand that went up at the end of your talk, and basically, are you a Democrat or something to that effect? And you said, no, I'm a Canadian. And so, I think that's also striking that, you've come to this from outside the United States, living and working in the United States as a Canadian. So some of the conversation is probably a little bit different here than it would even be in Canada, though, of course, liberals and conservatives tend to take certain stances on this. So I just thought that was a really striking statement. No, I'm Canadian. So how would you respond then to the cynically minded who view discourse on climate change as a liberal political and liberal religious agenda item?
Mm-hmm. That is an objection that I hear very frequently. And it's because there's been a very successful effort to deliberately cast science as a religion. And people like Richard Dawkins do it on one side of the spectrum, and people like Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis do it on the other side of the spectrum. But the reality is this: if we truly believe that God created this incredible universe that we live in, and that is what we as Christians believe, then what is science other than studying God's creation? And how could the Bible, God's expressed word or God's written word, be in conflict with the universe, which is God's expressed word? Now, of course, sometimes they do appear to be in conflict, but it has to be because of our limited understanding. In some cases, it's our limited understanding of the science. In some cases, it's our limited understanding of what the Bible says. In some cases, it's both. And unfortunately, when it comes to climate change, it's neither. When it comes to climate change, the conflict does not arise from the science. It does not arise from the Bible, which in book 1, chapter 1, says that God gave humans responsibility over every living thing on this earth. The last book of the Bible, Revelation, it talks about how God will destroy those who destroy the earth. It is not our theology that we're misinterpreting. It's not the science that we're misinterpreting. It is our political ideology and our identity that is telling us that this thing can't possibly be real. And for Christians, I hate to say this, but we're letting our political ideology often write our statement of faith over what the Bible says. And that suggests that we aren't who we say we are, because as Christians, we're defined by who we are and what we believe from the Bible, from what God tells us, not our politics.
So we're going to come to this a little bit later on how do we enter into conversations on these polarizing themes. You've already brought faith to bear on